Hello Genshin Goons, my name is Varsona and I'm here with my Kazuha today to show you... Wait. Give me 1 sec, I gotta go grab Kazuha real quick. Alright, that's better. Sorry, I had the wrong character, but now that we're all good, let's talk about how to build Kazuha at Constellation 0. So, let's get this right off the bat. If I was looking at Kazuha as a main DPS, I'd do one of two options. The first one's very easy, 2-piece Gladiator, 2-piece Viridescent. Just get the highest amount of attack with Anemo damage bonus up as possible, so that way I'm useful in all scenarios. But if I didn't have, let's say, a Pyro or a Cryo character to swirl very good elemental reactions for, I would probably look into doing a physical Kazuha with a 2-piece Bloodstained and 2-piece Pale Flame. This is because while Kazuha does do Anemo damage, most of the time, unless you are C6, you're going to be, at least as a main DPS, no more attacking with our boy Kazuha. Now, if I were to get Kazuha at C0, and I'm trying to slot him into an already existing team, I'd probably look more into burst supporting, and I actually wouldn't even build Viridescent. I would actually go 4-piece Noblesse, or 2-piece Wandering's Troop, and 2-piece Noblesse. The reason for this is because his burst itself does Anemo damage, but it also does bonus damage of a corresponding element that it absorbs. So if you have a Pyro reaction somewhere and your burst picks that up, you're gonna be proccing some Pyro damage as well as the Anemo damage. So Noblesse buffs both, and I really like that. Not to mention his last Ascension talent allows Kazuha to give allies percent bonus damage of a corresponding element to whatever he swirls, up to 0.04% of his elemental mastery. So that's where the Wandering Troops comes in. If we stack that with an elemental mastery hourglass, we can end up giving a significant portion of percent damage bonus to a different character, like a Hu Tao or a Ganyu or a Diluc, somebody who can really benefit from percent damage bonus. And of course, if you want that defense shred, you can always go 4-piece Viridescent. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If Kazuha is not your main DPS, you come in, you use his elemental burst, an elemental skill, and then you swap out. Everything's great. But there is something to note that he won't be as effective as Venti, and probably not as effective as Sucrose, simply because outside of his elemental skill, which sends him into the air, meaning you can't swap off of him immediately until you do a plunge attack, his elemental burst doesn't seem to crowd control the enemy or pull them in any way. So you're going to be relying on his elemental skill, which if you want a bigger radius, you're going to have to charge. But regardless of what you do, you're going to be in the air for a couple seconds, meaning you can't swap right off of Kazuha. So keep that in mind as you are making him your 4-piece Viridescent user. But of course, most of these builds will also be dependent on what kind of weapons you have for Kazuha. If you have some kind of energy recharge weapon that is not the sacrificial sword, such as the Skyward Blade or the Festering Desires, then you can probably run the Elemental Burst build using 4-piece Noblesse or 2-piece Wandering's 2-piece Noblesse, no problem. But on the other side of the coin, if I have the Aquila Favonis, or I'm budget and I'm using the prototype weapon, then I would probably go with the physical build, because that makes sense, right? Now I can get the most out of the physical damage bonus. And if I had just the Black Sword or got lucky and had Jade Cutter, I probably would go as a main DPS build, or some kind of Ultra Burst build, like 2-piece Viridescent and 2-piece Noblesse for the maximum burst damage, alongside the crit rate that you get from the weapon. And looking at some data for Kazuha, it seems that he has a 60 energy cost on his burst, meaning I don't really think you need to worry too hard about energy recharge. Of course, it would be nice, but I think Elemental Mastery here, along with crit rate and crit damage, is going to be key, as well as the attack stat, of course. So for the Hourglass, I would actually say look for an attack main stat with some energy recharge somewhere in there. But it's not super important to have energy recharge, except for if you're going for like a hyper burst support build where all he's doing is just coming in, bursting, getting out. For me personally, I think I'm going to be running the Wandering Noblesse set, and sticking him on a team with Keqing and Mona in some form or another. Anyways, that's my opinion on how I would build Kazuha at C0. Let me know in the comments below how you are gonna build him, because I'm curious to see what you all have come up with. Oh, and if this video was helpful, please give it a like, as it helps us out immensely with YouTube's algorithm. Also, I gotta show my own product here real quick. We're on episode 2 of season 2 of Epic Teyvat. What is Epic Teyvat? Epic Teyvat is a show about the Genshin characters. We have our own little storyline that's kind of going on, and we try to provide a lot of action, a lot of story, and some comedy as we go. I'm playing some clips right now. I think you'll love it. Go check it out. More episodes to come, and your boy Kazuha may be appearing in a future episode. So stay tuned for that. As always, my name is Varsona. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next time.